So welcome to this video. We are here at Thruxton Karting Centre, December 14th, and this is the final on the back of a Grand Prix afternoon, which consists of a practice session that doesn't really mean anything, 2 heats where the places that you sit and finish in give you points and dictate where you start in the final. So as you can see, I think I was 5th or 6th, primarily because somebody binned it in the first heat, and for me to avoid hitting them, I went into the verge and got hung up, so I had to be recovered. So obviously I finished last because I was more than a lap behind everyone else, despite getting the purple lap on that heat, which is good. The day started pretty wet and gradually got drier. As you can see there's still some wet patches. Trying to get a little bit of heat into the tyres. These tyres cool down pretty quickly after the previous session. And this is just a formation lap. It's a grid start. I think there's 15 of us. So yeah. What to say, there was a mixed group that we were in. There were 3 parties there in the daytime, some pretty quick driving, and as I mentioned, the day got drier and drier and quicker. When I arrived and saw the first heat, fastest lap was just over a minute, and in the final I got the second fastest lap by 0.3 seconds, which is a 51.6, I think, so almost 10 seconds. So we're lining up for the start. You can't see the lights, but they will go green after going red off and red again. You'll see I slightly put my foot on the gas when the lights went off and didn't get the greatest of starts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean 6th, yep. So number 4 getting a really good run, number 27 getting a good run, and number 11 getting a good run. So already back 2 positions. Stuck it on the outside to try and keep the pace. So number 27 was dealt with pretty quickly, and then up to 11, who took it very wide. And this guy here, I was unsure as to whether I was able to get the cut, but as you saw there, I tried to turn and not much happened. And the same again here. It's really wet on this downhill section, especially under the bridge there. Someone else coming, but trying to do a move that didn't exist. I was having none of it and just muscled him out of the way. So now we're on the back straight, foot down, touching on a good day 60 miles an hour, and trying to pull into here without much braking, and taking more curb. I should take a lot more curb on that right hand side, which you'll see me do later on, and then find a left for the start finish line. So get a decent run out of there past number 9. Number 11 completely oblivious that I'm there, so I'm going to take the invitation for that open door and just make the move and get it done. So 2 ahead now. This incredibly tight left, again, not much grip. This left here was really tough. Again, there's just no grip whatsoever, and I'm trying to keep a roughly central line so that I'm giving some level of defense in case somebody wants to just stick one down the inside. So we're back down the back straight. You can see the camera dipping down a little bit. I did put my head down a bit on the back. It was incredibly windy, really open as you can see, and just really trying to maximise as much pace as possible. Now just a point on that final left before the start finish line. Someone in an earlier session had knocked those barriers on the left in a bit, and I didn't do it then, but I start to realise that I saw the quickest driver on the previous lap taking the inside. There's a slight drop in tarmac because it's off the track technically, which allows your left wheels to just dig in a bit and get a little bit more rotation on the kart on that turn. So that's something I'll take advantage of a lot more. So we're trying to hunt down, I think it was number 17. So a few other points as well. When you see the inside of the visor steam up, that's because I'm shouting. Breathing doesn't seem to do it because it's a half decent helmet, but if I get a bit excited, it will steam up, as it was a pretty cold day. You can see there, almost clipping that left on the left wheel. I also then look to the right as well. There is the board on the right there, showing how everyone's getting on and their positions. But the reason I mentioned the steaming up and the shouting and the swearing, which you're probably not going to be able to hear because I've dipped the audio because it's pretty noisy and pretty distracting, is that somebody, I think it's the guy behind me now, he was number 5, dinged me in the back pretty hard twice on a corner, which I did not appreciate. This is not bumper cars, and you do get called out for contact. Yeah. So, and it was on this corner. Apologies. No, not this corner. We've missed it already. Anyway, you'll see it when it comes. You can't miss it because the my head snaps back twice, and you can see the helmet move. And it was quite an interesting way that unfolded over the corners as well. So, really catching up to 17 as we all tried to avoid that guy who ran out of talent on that corner. I'm obviously saying something about it. You saw it missed up very quickly then. But again, number 17 behind number 4 now. We're getting in a little bit of traffic, which is always good. It means those that we're trying to overtake, we can start to make some progress on. And there is somebody else as well in ahead of number 4 who's trying to play it a bit more defensive as well there, closing out that inside. And as you can see there, I'm starting to take a lot more curb on that right hand side there of that chicane, which is a must because it basically means you can get away without braking and getting a lot narrower there on that left before the start finish as well. Now, I can't exactly remember when the incident takes place, but I'm starting to think it's probably the next lap because as I'm bunching up to these guys and I'm trying to get underneath here on number 17 on the corner with no grip, I decide to back out because it's not worth it and look for a cut back. I don't want to spin out and then lose 4 places for the sake of 1. I got a half decent exit, so you can see me creeping up to him now. There's a little love tap there, nothing too dangerous, not taking him off his line, but just to make sure that he knows I'm there and to maybe break his concentration. As we come around to finish the lap, keep it nice and tight, foot glued to the floor. So it's very difficult. This guy's doing pretty well, keeping a good pace. It's going to be pretty tough to get him. It's this corner here that's incredibly low on grip. But again, I'm keeping that inside line there, both in case number 17 looks back and sees me to try and pressure him a bit, but also to make sure anyone behind me, as you can see I've not looked back yet, is see how they're getting on, to see if there's anyone too close to me. As I'm getting braver and braver, that was a horrible line there, far too wide, which kicked me far too wide for the next one. But it meant I could keep a half decent amount of paces then, keep up to number 17 nonetheless. Quick look behind, no one immediately in my vicinity. Try not to go too wide there and maintain traction on the track as well. So not much action happening at this stage. There the bangs, you can see my head screaming at this guy, gesturing. So I thought, he's going too fast. I'll let him make the mistake and I'll get the cutback, which I did. And if you look back at that as well, I did look round at him with hand gestures and some choice words, and he was completely not having any of it. Fortunately, he was off the racing line. I was not. He messed up the corner, and I was able to see it coming and make the move and capitalise and keep him behind me. Unfortunately, that is not the last time we see this guy try to make some stupid move that doesn't exist. I think I got done for curbing there maybe, but on the previous lap, and that was the warning that I shoved my hand up and acknowledged I'd seen, so we'll see. But yeah, as I mentioned, this guy goes for another move on a corner that was nowhere near there. He was not in my field of vision. It may be this corner as I went far too wide because of the lack of grip. And no, it wasn't there. But it was definitely that corner when he tries to find a gap that does not exist. Far from ideal, But spoiler alert, I managed to keep him at bay for the rest of the race. We've got 3 minutes left, which equates to around 3 laps. Like I said, we're running just under a minute per lap. Number 17 going a little bit wide there. Big mistake from me though, taking my foot off the gas. I completely lost momentum, and everyone fighting for grip here. There was some battling with the kart there to keep that on track and not go off, as well as number 4 gets done by number 17, who looks to take it back on the inside. Again, they're playing bumper cars, because why not? I've tried to keep a decent line to try and get a good exit. He sees me and completely cuts me off, which, fair play. I need to make much better a move there. So a good bit of driving in action between these two. Could have been a lot cleaner. As we're coming around the back end to finish what I think is lap 10. So I'm there keeping a central line again. I'm very aware that there's probably number 5 still up my rear. And no way at this stage in the race am I intending to lose any places. These guys are again battling and struggling, which slows everybody down. And I'm expecting, as the guy behind me has shown his colours, to do it. I think it may be here. Let's see. Bang! There we go. You can see the counter steer. My arm going up. It was nowhere to be seen, and just punts me from the side. There was no way in hell that was an overtaking opportunity. But again, this is what this guy likes to do, it seems. But held control, kept position, and we're going to stay in front for now, and see what happens. Now this is, I think, the penultimate lap, and we really do want to try and make some ground up on number 4, but everyone seems to be relatively evenly paced. I am really struggling still with the kart and lack of grip. You can see all the dark patches here where the wet is, and it's just really hard to get your lines down and get good grip. We again keep a wider line here to try and keep some momentum, to try and get a faster exit up the hill than number 10, which works out. We exited the corner much quicker, so we can use that to get past, no problems. Taking as much curve as possible. If you compare that to the start of the race, that's a big learning that I made across these 12 laps. Take as much curve as you can on the right. It's not breaking track limits. And there we go, checkered flag. And we're done. So it was a really fun race. It was a frustrating session earlier on when I got binned off, which meant not the best start in the race. We've made it up to P4, which I think was from P6, although it was P8 by the first corner due to the horrible start. It's always a bit of pot luck with these karts. Some are good, some are not so good. Some have great throttle response, some have better clutches than others. It really is luck of the draw. But I hope you enjoyed that. Questions and comments, leave them below. And if you liked it or want to see some more, let me know. Cheers for now.